All right, welcome to video production, video audio broadcast 1, and we're going to talk about the basics of our program, Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is what we'll use every day to edit videos, and this can apply to what we're doing in class, what you might do at home on your Apple computer 20 years from now when you're making videos for your family, or just for fun to learn how to use this program, use it effectively. So the very simple starting point, we click on our Final Cut Pro icon. It's going to take us to our screen. And on that screen, you're going to see quite a few things that can be a little intimidating. But once you understand the workflow, once you understand how it all fits together, it'll make a lot of sense. You get comfortable with the workflow, you get comfortable with the buttons and the tabs, and what each one of them does, and you will be cooking with gas, as they say in the barbecue world, pretty soon. You will have a project today that you're going to begin. Once we finish this tutorial, you're going to get on it, and the easiest way for you to learn how to use Final Cut Pro is to, well, use Final Cut Pro. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks down the road of things that you can do that will help you in this process. So, Final Cut Pro. Start with the basics. Once you have the program pulled up, and obviously mine has quite a few things on it, and it's yours is going to have more of a blank screen, and not so much in the events or programs events or projects library here. But we're going to talk you through each of those steps. All right, first things first. An event. An event is something you're going to create up here in the event library. Now this is where you're going to pull video or pictures or music from to put into your project. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's create a new event. So we're going to create a new event, and we're going to title this one Video Test. Whatever you are working on with these events, please make sure that the title you use describes what's in there. In this case, I'm just going to delete this event afterwards, but don't leave this where it's untitled event or untitled project, because a day or two from now when you come back to these, you will have no idea, well, which untitled project it is. And everybody does untitled projects. We've got untitled project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 27, 36, and it's going to get ugly and you're going to waste a lot of time. So let's not do that. So we're going to create this new event, we're going to title it, and once we've titled it, we're going to get this blue icon that says Import Media. Now here's the key. This is where you initially start with this icon, and it's really simple. You're going to click the icon. Once you load something into this event, that icon goes away, but we'll show you what to do next. So let's start with some basic stuff. We're going to get onto the computer, into however you're logged in. I'm logged in as myself, Long B. You guys will be logged in as CHS Video. So on that desktop of the computer, we have some things loaded. Like on each of your computers, there's a 2015 preseason football folder in there. So we're going to double click that folder. Now, there are 250-ish clips in that folder from preseason workouts where I just ran around and took the video camera and shot different things that happened during our preseason for football. So we would have something to start with here in the 2015 school year. So once we open those up, now I can go and click on the different movies and I can preview them just to see what's in them. I can click play and we see Trip Hobbizel running around and see different things that are going on in our video. There's Matty Fletcher, guys running around and doing the speed drills with the bungee cords. All right, we can get some video here of Coach Davis with the guys with the tires, or whatever we want. So let's just load in a few things. Let's grab Coach Davis's video, and an easy way, we can import selected, or we can click one video, hold the shift key, and click another video, and it will highlight all of the videos in between those sections that I've clicked on. So if we just wanted to load everything, let's go all the way up to number 249 here and scroll all the way down to video number 1. So now we're going to load up all of those videos into our event. So if we want to get all of them, that's what we do. So I'm just going to load just for the test here. We're going to do 1 through 10 just for fun. All right, so we're going to import those selected. So we click Import Selected. Now we get this pop-up menu. It asks me where I want to add the events. So obviously I have lots of events in my event library. Video test is one I created. If you just created one, what it's going to do, it's going to auto-populate that into your tab. So if you are working in the folder that you just created, in the event you just created, it'll auto-populate that. If you want to change it, you can. Or you can even create a new event. So what happens on these tabs? Organizing. Copy the files into Final Cut folder. This is usually the easiest thing to do because files can move around. If you copy them into the event folder, they stay there until you delete the event. We'll talk about how to do that down the road, but right now that's not important. We're just kind of trying to create stuff. Copy them into. If you know you're the only person working at your computer, say you were doing this at home, you could import the folder as a keyword collection and save some storage space, but that's not really necessary. We want to make sure we copy them. Now in transcoding, we can create optimized media and or create proxy media. Creating optimized media takes a little more memory, and we want to stay away from that because the proxy media gives us a close enough approximation of what the video is going to look like for our purposes. We're not getting really down into the details of the pixels, so creating proxy media works. If you have video, you're not real sure if the color looks right, we can analyze for color balance. We can also come down the audio. If you know there were some issues with the audio or it's something that's important, you can analyze and fix any audio problems that might have happened. And there's some other things to choose, and you can read those for yourself. So we'll click Import. And the more clips you load in, the longer it will take, but generally it takes just a few minutes to load those in. So we've got 10 clips here on our import. So now we have successfully imported some clips into our event folder. All right, so what if we want to go back and add some more? Well, we come up to File and make sure that you've got your event highlighted. We're going to File, Import Media. That's how we get, once we get past that initial load in, this is how we get to the other file. So let's just pick a few that's got some guys running, and we'll hit the shift, and we'll get some guys that are in their uniforms, a Lico, and we're going to import some more. Same deal, we get the pop-up, let's import those just so we have a few more clips to work with. Again, the more clips you load in, the longer it takes to load into your event menu. All right, you'll notice that these clips were shot on different dates. If your camera is set to record the date, it'll timestamp the dates on your SD card. And when you load them into the event folder, it organizes them by dates, which is pretty handy. So we've got some from July 20th, we've got some from August 7th here. We've got about 30 clips to work with, so that should be plenty. So right now our event looks good. We've got clips loaded in that we wanted. So now what? Now we need to create a project. Down here in the project library, you can see all the projects that we have currently. And let's go up to File again, and we're going to create a new project. When we click New Project, it's going to ask us which event we want to make the default event where we are going to initially pull video from. So we'll leave it as Video Test. And let's call this Preseason Football Test. And don't worry if you spell it wrong. Let's just spell it wrong for fun here. If you spell it wrong, you can go back and change it here in a second. All right. You're going to choose your video properties. If your format doesn't look right, you can change it. 1080p HD is a good place to start for us. The 1920, the highest resolution, and we'll leave the rate at 29.97. That's not really super important to you right now. It may be down the road, and that's something else we can talk about. So let's click OK and create that new project. Notice that the project library went away, and now you're just working with that single project. Let's click back on this button. If you ever log onto your computer and you're looking and you see the project line here, and that's all you see, and you can't find your project, just come down here to this little icon where it says Show Project Library, and now you're back where you can see all the different projects and you can choose something else. Okay, so let's say we misspelled this on purpose, and let's go back and we'll single click it, and now we can change the name, no big deal. All right, let's double click it and get back into that project. So we have successfully created an event, we have successfully created and named a project, and now we're going to double click and we're going to work on that project. Okay, so we've got some random clips of some different preseason football stuff. So let's just start with this clip of the guys in their chipometers. speed device training, and we're going to grab it and drag it down into our timeline. All right, we've got our first video clip in our timeline. That video clip has got audio, and the red line that you see, let's blow that up a little bit. The red line you see tells us that the computer is processing your video. This is a handy tool, this background task window. Click on it, it will tell you exactly what the computer's doing, and roughly you can figure out based on your percentages how long it's going to take. It's still importing some media from where we put it into our event earlier, so we're just going to let that run in the background. But you see this red line is starting to disappear. Well, this is the render of the video we put into our project line. If your computer starts getting slow, a good place to check is right here in your background tasks, and if it's still running, if it's got a number and that number is maybe moving slow, it might be a good time to get up, go get something to drink, go to the restroom, and come back to it. Come back to it when you've given it enough time to think and process. And that only happens when you have multiple things going on at once, kind of like we do. So we're just going to kind of power through it right now. As that red line disappears, it'll be easier to manipulate your video here in the timeline, but just wanted to point that out. It's a neat, handy little tool. And so is this expander at the bottom to expand and contract your timeline. All right, so let's grab a couple of clips. We'll grab clip 6 because that's a fun number. Got a nice big clip there. And we're going to reduce our timeline. Let's go up and grab a few of the guys in their pads working out on the field. And one more here. And here's Coach Hobblesell. We'll go ahead and grab a video of Coach Hobblesell because, well, why not? All right, so we've got videos down in our project line, and that's starting to look like we are doing some editing. All right, one of the next things we're going to want to do is add some audio to this line. So let's see. We go up to our events. We've got a lot of video. We don't really necessarily have any audio to add to that. So let's do that. We're going to import some media again. Everything you deal with, whether it's audio, video, pictures, is considered media. So it's just a generic term. It's kind of a catch-all for anything you're going to use that might go in an event line or a timeline or something like that. All right, so let's go to music. Let's see what we have in the music tab. Frozen, probably not that exciting. Let's go with a little, how about a little Man of Steel soundtrack, a little Superman. Same thing here. If it's already an audio file, I wouldn't mess with analyzing it just because it's already good. And we're going to import it. Bring in a little epic Superman music there. And now we can see we have some audio here, and that is going to show up just green. All right, so we're going to grab our audio line. Let's bring it under our video. So now we have our video playing with a little audio soundtrack in the background. But now our problem is we got a bunch of guys that are running on the gym floor making lots of noise, and you can't hear the background track. So we're going to grab our audio gain and we'll bring that down. Let's just bring them all the way down just so we have just video clips and just without the audio. When you right click it, it allows you to go into a little more detailed menu here. Some people think, just right click it and turn it down. When you right click it, you get a different kind of menu when you have your mouse on primary and secondary. So we'll just turn all this sound down for right now. We may turn it up later in our editing process, but we're dealing with the basics right now. So now we've turned that sound down, and we're getting a little cool audio in the background there. Superman, a little Hans Zimmer for you. Okay, now we've got video, we've got audio, so let's talk editing. There's a couple ways you can edit these clips. Way number one is you can grab the edges, and as you see, when you get in between clips, you get a little different icon, and there's brackets that point to the direction of the video that you're going to service right here. So let's deal with clip 237. So I've got my brackets, they're pointed toward clip 237, so I'm going to hold my mouse down and I'm just going to drag it. So I'm shortening this clip, and that's a Coach Hobblesell clip, and I'm going to go to the end of it. I'm going to drag it and grab it and drag it until we get kind of to the end of that clip. You can see in my preview line that it's showing me what's happening. All right, so there's Coach Hobbizel being a stud, doing his thing. Now he's got some cool background music. There you go, that matches. All right, good deal. All right, so that's one way we can grab and drag. The second way is if we go up to our tool, our select tool, we can change our pointer, which is the quick key for that is A. Change it to a razor blade. Now with that razor blade, we can come in and we can do a little more precise editing. Let's deal with clip number 6 here. Let's get to a place where there's old Red Abernathy and Calhoun Riley and Jaira Wilson. We'll clip that, and we're going to let them do their thing with their feet, and we'll clip it again. All right, so we've cut with our razor blade. We've cut that clip, and now let's go back. Let's use our hotkey. We'll use A. And let's delete. We're going to use the delete button. Just use the delete key on your keyboard. We're going to delete the videos around it, and now we've edited our clips. Obviously, you can edit it as you see fit. There are some techniques that we'll talk about later about how to match up video and audio and how to make an effective highlight video. But this gives you the basics of how to edit those video clips in your timeline, in your project timeline, to create a video. So we've got our audio, we've got our video clips, and that gets us through several things. We've created an event, we've created a project, we've added video through the import key to our event, we've added audio with our import key to the event, and we've also brought media from our event down into our project, edited it, added audio, we've edited the sound by manipulating the gain line. So we are well on our way to creating our first video. All right, one last thing to mention before we wrap up is how do we save it? So we've got all of our clips in our timeline, we've got all of our audio, we've gone over all that stuff. How do we save it? Well, one of the great things that's part of the Final Cut program is once you are done, you can just close the program. So I can either go up to Final Cut and quit Final Cut Pro, or I can just use my quick red button here just to close Final Cut Pro out. It will save you, it auto saves your work. There is no save process where it tells you it's saving, it auto saves it. So go back to our project menu, we see our preseason football test is well underway. Got some videos that we can preview in our preview line here. So we are well underway to having a really cool preseason football test video. And next time we talk, we'll talk about more we can do to add detail to our videos.